All right, so let's get into over here, sleep, like I talked about before, right? We've got sleep. So how the hell and what the hell does sleep have to do with your relationship? So look at this, right? Because sleep affects a lot of things. It affects our energy, it affects our moods, it affects our ability to think, and it affects our hormones, right? Hormones drive emotions, and emotions drive hormonal responses that affect how we act. It affects the decisions we make. It affects how we think. It affects how we behave. And you think that's important in a relationship? Absolutely, right? So, and when your thinking's affected, if you're, not getting enough sleep, if you're tossing, turning all night or up till the wee hours in the morning, part of the process of sleep is allowing your brain and all your cognitive, your mental processes to recover. And so when you shortchange that, you really start to lose your ability to think and to focus, right? And, I'm sure you've known and felt it yourself. If you've ever got to bed really late and had to get up really early and you didn't get enough sleep, how you're in a funk. You're kind of in a brain fog. You might have things that you know them, but you can't freaking remember them. Simple things, almost like, oh my God, I'm losing my memory. Things like that, right? You almost feel like, man, I'm going stupid kind of thing, right? So really, sleep affects that, right? Good quality sleep, super important, and that's one of the most overlooked things from most people in this world, right? Lack of sleep, because we're always on go, 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 go. From the time we get up in the morning, the time our head hits a pillow at night, we're already thinking about the next day and all the stuff we got to do and everything we got to get done and all the projects and deadlines, and boom. And we really don't pay enough attention to getting enough good quality sleep. Stress. We all have our own individual threshold for how much stress we can handle. When we go beyond that threshold, that's where problems happen. And most people are operating every single day beyond their individual threshold to effectively manage stress. It's why we have so many problems with stress, and we need all these stress management techniques and books and courses and all of this shit trying to tell us how to manage and reduce stress, because we're not effectively managing it, and we don't know how to recognize when we're beyond our own threshold. And that's the thing. So being able to be aware of where that threshold is and really doing things that will help to increase that threshold, to bump it up higher so that there's more room under here, so it takes more and more, right? You have more ability to handle things that come at you, because let's face it, there are stressors that we can manage and control, and there are stressors that we can't manage and control. If your boss at work, 5 minutes before you leave, comes in and dumps a shitload of work on your desk and wants it done before you go home, that's nothing that you can handle. But you can handle how you react to that stressor, right? Makes sense? So there are things we can manage and things we can do to bump that threshold up higher. And those are the things we really got to, pay attention to, because stress is one of the things that, even though it might be affecting us personally, you bring that shit into your relationship. And even if you don't even say anything about it, the energy that you give off, everything that comes from you and emanates from you, it infects your relationship, right? Good or bad, okay? So that's stress. Then we got diet, right? Another thing. What the hell does what I eat have to do with my relationship? More than you think. Because what you eat actually affects how your brain works, right? Your gut and your brain are actually connected by a nerve, and they communicate with each other. Your gut's communicating what's going on in there to the brain, and then the brain is sending off and basically telling the body what it needs to do to kind of put out the fires that are going on in the gut and in the body, right? The brain is kind of like that messenger system, right? That command center for the body. So it has everything to do with it, and it really links up into here, right? Everything's affected with our mood, with our energy levels, with our thinking, with our hormones, right? With how our organs function, all of that stuff. So it's very tied into what we eat. So the crappier stuff that we eat, then the more affected we're going to tend to be, the more tendency we're going to have things going wrong in our relationship. What you eat affects your body inside, right? And outside as well. right? And what affects your body affects your mind. So if you have shit going in your body, you're gonna have shit thinking, and you're gonna feel like shit, and you're gonna bring that shit into your relationship.